Hey guys, Chris here, and welcome to the 10 to 80% charging speed and charging time test, where we put the manufacturer's claimed charging speed to the test. But more importantly, we are measuring the 10 to 80% average charging speed and time taken, which in my opinion is more important than the peak speed you get out of a car, which is 77 kilowatts according to Kia with this e-Soul. Of course, it will be interesting to see how close we get to that, peak speed, but it being minus 2 degrees Celsius outside and peak speeds are always quoted under optimal conditions, less than optimal conditions. With the cold, I don't think we will be able to get close to that. So yeah, it is what it is, but 10 to 80% state of charge is more important in my opinion and the whole point of this test, because when people take an EV out on a long trip, you usually stop at a charging station, a lightning charger, a rapid charger, a fast charger with around 10% state of charge. And then often you don't go above 80% state of charge because most EVs charge slow above that state of charge. But I have been on the road for 3 hours today on a motorway, that has generated some heat in the battery. And heat is good because heat means you are able to get closer to that maximum charging speed. And also I have had 2 charging sessions today, which also generates more heat, but I have done a third thing to generate as much heat as possible to make the conditions as optimal as possible to get the best possible charging speed. And that is something called yo-yo driving. And people have their own opinions on yo-yo driving, but one thing is for sure is that yo-yo driving actually works on any EV. So briefly, yo-yo driving is, well, what it sounds like. You drive like a yo-yo. You accelerate, you brake, you accelerate, you brake. By accelerating, you're generating heat in the battery by loading it, and by braking, you're often, recouping that energy back into the battery, which also heats up the battery. So a lot of people say this is an artificial way to do it. Most people don't do it, and a lot of people may not do it, but it is a real technique that works. And people may also argue that you are wasting energy, and in some regard, that is true. But the energy you do waste, you more than make up in the charging speed you do gain. So depending on your philosophy, how you drive, and if you want to, be on your way as quickly as possible, yo-yo driving and heating the battery that way is a good technique. So we're going to charge to 100, not 100, we're going to charge to 80% state to charge here. And after the charging session, we're going to look at the data, the charge curve, and the actual charging session. Okay guys, the results are in. We're finished charging, so we're going to look at the data and we're going to look at the actual charging session. So I'm going to overlay the video as I'm talking through the charging session. So starting off at 10% state of charge, we got 68 kilowatts. We peaked at 70 kilowatts at 11% state of charge immediately. And then the speed drops a little. So at 20% state of charge, we are at 65 kilowatts. And then at 30% state of charge, we are at 67 kilowatts, a little more speed. And then at 40% state of charge, we are at 68 kilowatts. 50% state of charge, the speed has climbed to 69 kilowatts before peaking at 55% state of charge at 70 kilowatts. We then throttle, and then at 60% state of charge, we are at 56 kilowatts. And then at 70% state of charge, we are at 57 kilowatts. Again, throttling at 73% state of charge, we are down to 35 kilowatts. And then throttling just before 80% state of charge. And at 80% state of charge, we are at 23 kilowatts. Guys, this is an exceptionally flat charging curve. This is very, very impressive. And I haven't seen a flat charging curve like this since my e-tron. I mean, this is flatter than I really thought it was going to be. So this is very, very impressive. We are basically getting 70 kilowatts from 10% state of charge to 55% state of charge. That is impressive. I didn't think that. So let's take a look at the time. So the total time it took to charge from 10 to 80% state to charge was 50 minutes and 30 seconds. And the total juice delivered was 49.763 kilowatt hours. So let's do some math there. 50 minutes and 30 seconds equates to 50.5 minutes or 0.8416 hours. So we take the juice delivered, which was 49.763 kilowatt hours, divided by the time, 0.8416 hours, we get an average charging speed of 59 kilowatts. And again, considering that this has a peak speed of 77 kilowatts, we getting an average speed of 59 kilowatts from 10 to 80% state to charge. That is very, very impressive. And this is one of the cars I have tested that is as close to its peak speed when it's regarding its average charging speed of all the EVs I have tested. I mean, take something like a Polestar 2, which has a maximum charging speed, according to Polestar, of 150 kilowatts, but has an average charging speed of 74.5 kilowatts. That is half the average charging speed of what the peak speed is. This is only about 27 kilowatts off. That is very, very impressive and much flatter and much closer than I thought. So in this case, doing the yo-yo driving really did help to get that, good charging speed. So I am very impressed by the charging speed in this car, though the time, which is 50 minutes and 30 seconds, isn't as good as in the Polestar 2, which is like 46 minutes, and that going even longer on a charge. So that is also something to consider. But just outright speed and how close you get to the claimed speed, it is very, very impressive. So guys, let me know what you think of this charging session in the comment section down below. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys there, and goodbye. Cloudless sky.